What else we got, Taylor?
Well, Andrew, you want to share your 50 Cent story?
Yes.
Yo.
Talk to me about the GOAT, man.
Met the GOAT, man. That was crazy.
Was he psyched to see you? Because I know he's reposted.
Yeah, he was.
He's
Yeah, he was dope.
Brilliant It Is.
Yeah, he was just dope, and just great storyteller, charismatic as fuck. Like,
He gonna bring you into the Power Universe?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna be a new character on the Power Universe.
You could be one of Tommy's cousins.
Yeah.
But I was telling the
Talk
guys,
about-
I was like, I got it like from talking to him, you know, why he's been able to have so much success in entertainment as well. Cause like, this is what we were talking about on Flagrant, but like, just imagine this. The great American crime stories for decades have been the Italian mafia in America.
That's right.
Okay? We've kind of went through almost all of those stories. And when you're an Italian with a story or you wrote a story about the Italian mafia, you wanted two people to direct it. Scorsese, Ford Coppola. Right? Like, and why? Because they're Italians, right? Mm-hmm. They understand the culture. They're not going to have your character that is a representation of you looking goofy out there. They actually know who you are. If it's some random white guy from fucking Maine who's writing a script about it, he's going to fuck up the food, he's going to fuck up the gestures, he's going to fuck up everything. I think the next line of American street or crime stories are going to come from the black community and the hip hop community. And I think you've already started seeing this happen now. Now, if you're somebody who comes from the street, you're locked up, right? Who do you want writing your story? Do you want some white guy in Hollywood that makes movies, that says that he can do right by you, that has no fucking clue what the street code is, no clue what the street culture is, no clue what your character is supposed to wear, what colors he's not supposed to wear, what hand gestures he's supposed to do or not do? Or do you want a guy who's actually lived it? To me,
To write?
not to write. You get professional
Produce.
writers to do
Okay,
it. To
yeah,
produce,
yeah,
to
yeah.
make sure that your story is safe. Someone who understands what it's like to be out there and
Yeah.
also understands how important that is to be represented. When I'm seeing, I'm talking to him about that, I'm like, oh, this is genius, bro. You got it. You figured it out. Like, of course, if you're a street dude, you're going, yeah, 50 got to make my story. And if this is going to be the next line of these American crime stories, like the Italian Mafia, the run the Italian Mafia had in American, cinema. I mean, to me, it's just, we're talking about tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. And
I'm only going to base it off stories that I know are real, because I was about to say The Wire was fantastic, but that'd be lying because I never saw an episode of The Wire. But I'll just say it anyway. The Wire was fantastic because that's, but
it was so good.
Paid in Full. Amazing story about, the drug dealers in Harlem, the Alpos and the Rich and Poor, I think their names were, things like that. That was fantastic. I don't know who wrote that, but to your point, Dame Dash was an executive producer. You know what I mean? So it gives it
some credibility.
When you think about old...
You don't need the writer to be from the culture.
No. You just need a producer like John Singleton with Boys in the Hood.
Exactly.
The Hughes brothers with Menace to Society. And those guys weren't necessarily street guys, but they were black people who understood.
Aware enough.
Aware, yeah. 50's just in such a unique position, man, because, there's nobody who was looking at that genre like the gold it is.
It is the next line of American rags to riches stories.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what was so seductive about the Italian Mafia, or these people who are come here with nothing and then go, it's the American dream. You go make tens of millions of dollars. And keep in mind, all those American dream families that we now see as like regal and royalty and aristocratic, all of them started in bootlegging or selling fucking opium or doing some sort of illegal business. Now, I'm not saying that you should do that to get on in America, but it's not dissimilar to the black American street crime that you will see now populating Hollywood cinema.
I mean,
TV.
that's why so many black people gravitated towards Goodfellas and gravitated towards Sopranos.
Yeah, because they're like, yo, this is my way out too.
Absolutely, gravitated towards Scarface. I wonder if black street stories will have that same impact on other people.
We saw American Gangster.
Well, think about like
American
this.
Gangster, yeah.
Think about like this. What were Italians also, you could argue, overrepresented in prior to the release of all those films?
Pizza.
Correct. Music. They dominated popular music.
Really?
Oh, you heard a guy named Frank Sinatra?
Frank Sinatra was Italian?
This guy's so crazy.
I did not know
This
Frank
guy's,
Sinatra
this
was
guy's
Italian.
fucking crazy.
Really?
Wait, what were the Jersey Boys? Were they Italian?
Yeah.
Bobby Darin?
I thought Frank Sinatra was Jewish.
Bobby Darin was Jewish, wasn't he?
No, Tony Bennett, I think, is Italian for sure.
Tony Bennett is Italian?
Yes, you know.
I
that
hate
one.
this guy, bro. You one of you one of the people I probably hate more than anybody.
Who else is Italian, yo?
Yeah.
Dion and the Belmonts were Italian.
What they sing? What they sing?
Yo, don't indulge him, bro. Just move on.
Yo, you know who was fire? A fire Italian group?
Shut up.
Fucking Donatello, Raphael, Leonardo, and Michelangelo with that dude Splinter on the bass. That shit was fire.
Yeah.
I really didn't know Frank Sinatra was Italian. I thought Frank Sinatra was Jewish, straight up.
What?
I thought he was Jewish. Ain't he from Brooklyn?
No, Hackensack or somewhere.
Hackensack.
Somewhere right over the river. Maybe Jersey City.
Frank Sinatra's from Jersey?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow.
Frankie Valli's the guy Jersey who I was
Frankie
thinking
Valli.
of. Great
I
singer.
thought Frankie Valli was Latino.
It's a fine line.
He is, right? I'm not making this up.
Yo, why don't you get swallowed up?
Google
Why don't you get swallowed up
Google
right now?
Frankie Valli's ethnicity, yo.
He's Italian. I'll have to Google it. Frankie Valli is very Italian.
Very Italian?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
Anyway, point is, what was the point before you fucking derailed this whole
Point
goddamn
is-
thing in your knee-high
point is-
Timberlands?
50 is the king.
Italian.
Italian?
Yep.
Of course.
50 is the king of street.
Oh, the point I was making was that Italians were so overrepresented in pop music and pop culture, right? Then their stories are also represented in Hollywood culture. Right now, who's overrepresented for their percentage of people in the country in music?
Black people.
Black people.
Hip-hop, yeah.
Hip-hop, at least maybe before this year, was the popular genre of music. And now you're going to also see those stories told as well. So the setup looks beautiful.
It looks amazing. It looks amazing. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I mean, there's so many stories out there. BMF story, 50 caught that, and you can't even be mad at him because there's nobody in Atlanta who, had the muscle TV and film wise that 50 has garnered. You know what I mean? Like I've heard plenty of people say they wanted to do the BMF story, but didn't get it done. 50 got it done.
50 need to do the New York story. 50 need to do, that would be the one.
And also that big studio that he just closed on. Did y'all hear about that?
Is that happening?
Yeah, like he
wow.
got approved for it.
Yeah, he did.
amazing.
50, you need to holler at my guy, Sean Penn, man. Sean Penn, formerly known as Little Sean, the rapper, when you talk about, New York street stories, because I agree with you. There hasn't been like a classic New York street tale. I think Paid in Full was the
50
one.
is sitting on the New York Wire. He is sitting on the New York. What he told me that night is the New York Wire.
If it's about shit that happened in Queens when he was coming up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's sitting on the New York Wire.
100%. 100%.
Say again?
It's supposed to be like a play off of it.
Nah, you don't got to play.
Isn't Raising Kanan based
Nah,
off?
Raising Kanan is based off 50 Cent's character from Power.
I know, but I thought he added some of his.
I mean, he probably does a little bit.
What I'm saying is there is a almost biopic you'd have to get permission and the rights. A lot of people, and there's going to be a lot of stuff maybe exposed that shouldn't be, but
Now, it was some wild shit going down.
oh my God.
I'm going to tell you what up. Between Queens and Brooklyn, that's why I said you got to holler at my man Sean Penn, because Sean Penn grew up, in the Brooklyn era, the late 80s, 90s, when that shit was no joke. You know what I mean?
How I would do it if I'm him?
Borough to borough? Borough to borough? Yeah, borough to
So
borough.
I would, how the Wire went, oh, here is the hood, here's the school system, here's the docks, here's the police, whatever. So you start, and the story can start in Queens. It can start with all these figures, these OGs, et cetera. You have other figures from these different boroughs popping up, so the characters are introduced, but the main story is over there in Queens. Then the next season could be main stories in Brooklyn, but you still have the Queens people popping in. Next can be Harlem.
Yeah.
Next can be the Bronx, right? Like next can be whatever else it is. And the final maybe can incorporate all of them, but there's an unbelievable story here.
What they say? They say New York got 8 million stories.
Yes, sir.
Need to tell some of
Yes,
this shit.
sir.
The crazy thing is you could almost do, 50 wouldn't even have to do like one. He could do like how, you see
Bro, you
Marvel
could do
What If?
5 different.
Yeah, you could do something new every
series.
episode. I love Marvel What If, right?
Yeah, I should've.
Because in 30 minutes, I get a beginning, middle, and ending.
Yeah.
I mean, I get whole world saved in 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I don't even need a whole movie. You could do like a whole anthology series just based off New York street stories.
Totally. I just like the idea of, like, what I thought was so epic about Avengers is that they mapped this out decades ago. And then each movie slowly pushed the story toward this moment where all the storylines were going to collide, and then they executed it with perfection. Imagine you could do that with New York street stories.
Yes.
Like, to me, that would be an epic undertaking, and you need guys that really know what they're doing with the storytelling, because intertwining all those things, like putting these little Easter eggs that aren't gonna pay off for 3 seasons, that's like some George R.R. Martin Game of Thrones shit. Like, imagine we had New York City street Game of Thrones. It literally that detailed storytelling.
Yeah. And it's there. Like, listen, you can't sit here and tell me, you ever watch Menace to Society? Fantastic. Boys in the Hood, fantastic. Like, you can get into that type of detail.
But here's the thing. He was telling me stories that, and I'm from New York, I'm born and raised in New York. As familiar as some of these characters are to maybe you grew up in Queens, you're aware of it, and even you're a little younger.
Alex grew up in Queens?
I mean, Far Rock.
Far Rockaway. That is Queens. Stop.
It's Queens, but it's a little bit removed from.
Ain't the Queens 50 talking about now.
I mean, G-Unit was in Far Rock.
Yeah, the tank tops.
Flip
Nah.
flops.
See, we ain't
Your
even
beach towels.
This one 50 was boo boo.
Yes.
Oh.
That's
But there was dudes like that
No.
running niggas off the street
I
in
guess
Far Rock.
what I'm trying to say is, what was I trying to say?
You said Alex tried to hear the dudes running dudes off the street.
Oh, now you doing the Indian eye, and now you agreeing.
Alex said this dudes running dudes off.
Wait, what was I just, why'd I bring that up?
Because you were saying how Alex ain't really from the hood. That's what you said.
No, what'd I say? What was I
I
saying?
want to glorify that stuff. So you're right, Charlamagne.
What are you saying?
Huh?
What was I saying?
You was talking about how you was talking about 50 in the stories from Queens. The shit you was talking about. You said you may be familiar with some of these people.
I didn't even know these dudes. Like, I'm from New York City, and there's some names I recognize, and then others that I was like, I don't know who that is.
Nah, but 50 can do it. Yeah, and he's going. No, what am I talking about? He can do it. 50 is going to do it.
Yeah, it will be crazy.
It's going to get done.
It'll be crazy.
Okay? Salute to Fifth, man. I don't even think people really appreciate what Fifth has done in the TV space, yo. You know how
It's hard to get shit made,
It's
bro.
hard to get one thing made. This man has gotten, I can't even remember how many seasons of Power. The 4 shit with Tommy, Raising Kanan, the Ghost series, BMF, fucking what was the shit on ABC? That was based off the dude from Monk's Corner.
Oh, the lawyer.
The lawyer.
Isaac Wright Jr.
Isaac Wright Jr. Salute to Isaac Wright. I know Isaac really well, man.
Yeah, I bet.
Good guy.
Do y'all want to talk about the politics?
What happened in politics?
Oh, Trump,
the Iowa
landslide.
caucus.
Young landslide.
Wasn't a landslide, though.
Stop it.
Here's my thing, and
Stop it.
I've said this a million times. I think Republicans right now are doing themselves a disservice by not pushing Trump to the side and putting Nikki Haley as the GOP frontrunner. And the reason I say that, because if you look at what happened in Iowa, 50% of Republicans in Iowa voted against Trump because fucking DeSantis had like 20-something%. And Nikki had like 19, almost 20%. And they said that the people who voted for Nikki were mostly Democrats and independents. It's not a sure bet for Donald Trump in the general election. It's not. Even against sleepy goddamn Joe.
Charlamagne.
I'm trying to tell you.
Charlamagne.
And it was the lowest turnout for a caucus ever in Iowa. Because there's a lot of people that's just like, I told y'all already, there's some people who, 2024 is all about Trump, who's the criminal, Joe Biden, who's the coward, and the couch. And a lot of people are not energized by a Trump-Biden rematch, and they staying home. It's the lowest turnout for a caucus in Iowa in years.
Also,